What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Pricey Popcorn. I'm Brady, and I'm here with my guy, Ben. We got a nice heated topic and episode for you today for our holiday podcast. Welcome to Pricey Popcorn.
That's right. It's the holiday special today. We are talking about a very heated topic. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know, man. I'm excited to get into it. I mean, so we talked about this before we started recording. We have two different sides here, and I kind of did a little research. I cheated a little before we got into it. I wanted to do a little research. Wanted to be a little more prepared because, personally, I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Well, little does Brady know, I may have done a little research of my own today. I will not go down without a fight because Die Hard, dude, it's not a Christmas movie.
It has to be a Christmas movie. First and foremost, it happens over Christmas, and I know. It has nothing to do with Christmas. He kills people. He blows up cars and helicopters, and he shoots and kills people. But it's a Christmas movie. But I think, most importantly, pop culture thinks it's a Christmas movie. It's just not just me. Tons of people think it's a Christmas movie. Everyone thinks it's a Christmas movie.
This guy, he thinks it's a Christmas movie just because the culture thinks it's a Christmas movie.
Well, I'm not saying just because pop culture thinks it's a Christmas movie, it is a Christmas movie. I'm just saying I'm not the only one that thinks it. So I'm speaking on behalf of not only myself, but I think everyone else who also feels that it's a Christmas movie because it is.
Well, look, man, regardless of what, I think people can say whatever they want, but there are generic specifications that go into whether or not this is a Christmas
But just
movie.
because it's not like The Grinch or Santa Claus doesn't mean it's not a Christmas movie.
Dude. It does, though, because a Christmas movie has to be about Christmas. The
is
central
about Christmas.
theme, the plot, has to be driven not only by the fact that it takes place over Christmas,
does.
but Christmas has to be a huge part of the plot. The themes, the lessons learned, the time spent have to be about Christmas. And, the case of Die Hard, look, it happens to be Christmas-ish, but go ahead and say that makes it a Christmas movie. But the themes, you don't learn a nice Christmas lesson. You don't get that Christmas spirit. You just get,
who's to say that it doesn't teach you a good Christmas lesson at the end?
All right, well, what's a good Christmas lesson at the end then, bud?
That you live hard, die hard.
All right, I guess.
But if you're so you talk about all these things that make a Christmas movie, but so if you look at it, so the part of my research, if you look at the times written in the script and words said, it says they say Christmas more than they say words like die, kill, guns, explosions, all these other words that are associated and would be keywords when talking about Die Hard. So
you don't need to say these words. I'll go back to show, don't tell. You don't got to tell me the theme straight up. I can gather all of that information on my own. I'm a smart boy.
But the whole thing happens at Christmas, and it's at a Christmas party. If it wasn't Christmas, it would have never happened.
Well, here is what's going to defeat you. It doesn't happen at Christmas.
It's a Christmas
happens
party.
In the hours leading up to Christmas,
So,
on Christmas Eve,
okay,
not Christmas.
but like Frosty the Snowman doesn't happen on Christmas. It just themed around. So,
but there's enough to go into it that at least Christmas is a big part of it. Santa Claus is a big part of it, and I could argue that Frosty the Snowman is a winter movie more than it is a Christmas movie. There are certain seasonal aspects that go into a winter movie that don't necessarily need. Now, of course,
Okay.
Santa Claus is a huge part of Frosty the Snowman. So I'll always support Frosty the Snowman as a Christmas movie. Don't get me wrong, but look, Die Hard doesn't even take place on Christmas.
I mean, but it doesn't have to. It literally
Maybe
doesn't
in
have to.
Australia.
It literally doesn't have to. Yeah, in other time zones, it might take place on Christmas.
Yeah, but you're saying that it does. That
it takes
just because
place
it takes
around
place on-
Christmas Eve is pretty much Christmas.
Oh, pretty much Christmas.
Yeah, it is for
All right,
holiday
getting
season.
loosey-goosey with
For
our-
holiday season, it is. But
All right.
all right, another positive reason why it's a Christmas movie is it has more Christmas music than 99.7% of all other movies.
Is that a fact?
That's what my source has told me.
Wow.
I'll have to link it in the podcast description in case anyone wants to hear the solid argument I read. moments before we started recording.
Look, okay, I get you. If it's got Christmas music, that's an interesting thing. But there's
Wouldn't you
so
say
much more
Christmas
that-
music makes something a Christmas movie?
Not necessarily.
Doesn't it add that hidden effect of Christmassiness?
It can add that hidden
The
effect,
Christmas
but it
joy?
doesn't add that concrete. I'm gonna get back to it, man. The themes, the whole the plot's got to be driven by the fact that it's Christmas.
so
Die
I'm
Hard
with
would
you.
have been the same movie
I'm with
whether
you.
it was Easter, Christmas,
Okay.
Hanukkah,
You-
any old
I can
holiday.
I can agree to that, and I'm with you on the whole theme and symbolism and just overall tone and message of.
talking about, my friend.
I'm with you because there's definitely a formula for why the Grinch, why Santa Claus, why I guess like literally any classic Christmas movie you can think of is considered a Christmas movie. You just kind of like know.
Yeah, I guess you just kind of look. I don't think I'm ever gonna convince you that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie if you don't already believe me. Because look, man, I've put forward everything.
I mean, I think it just at the end of the day, it is a Christmas movie. I wouldn't say that it's like the Christmas movie, but I think it's just like it's just a Christmas movie.
A Christmas movie. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just a Christmas movie. Like, I'm not going to sit here and fight that it's the best Christmas movie of all time. And I'm honestly not that
but
defensive in the fact
it's
that
not
it is.
primarily a Christmas movie. It's first
Okay,
and
that's
foremost an action movie.
Fine. It's first.
Maybe
that's
you could
fair.
go
That's
action,
fair.
comma, Christmas at best.
Well, there's a bunch of movies that have multiple listings of genres. So yeah, I'm fine. If you want to call it action movie / Christmas movie, I'm cool with it.
With a huge asterisk beside the Christmas.
I mean, I wouldn't have it labeled
Put an asterisk
I wouldn't
on your
have it
Christmas
labeled
tree.
like in the theater or online as a Christmas movie,
Oh.
but it is a Christmas movie.
So he'll just, talk about it
So
behind
just-
closed doors.
So
but he
just
won't
you say I
really
want to
front
make a
with it.
Christmas movie doesn't mean that it is like they didn't want to make it a Christmas movie. They didn't say, "Hey, we're gonna make this movie for Christmas."
Exactly. They didn't market it as a Christmas movie.
But that doesn't mean it's not.
Whoa. You're getting pretty meta with that, man.
I'm just saying I don't just because they didn't market it and label it as a Christmas movie doesn't mean that it's not.
Well, yeah, I suppose, like you said, the culture can take something and make it more than what it is. It's not up to the artist to determine the message. The message is determined
I would agree.
by the people. And I'm with you on that note.
And I'm not someone
But-
who's just going to take pop culture and say whatever they say or whatever the popular opinion is. I'm just saying that is, in this case, the way it is. I feel like if we surveyed 100 people, we'd have a solid majority.
I don't know. We
that
might
would
have
say-
to...
Yeah, we're gonna put a poll out. We're gonna put a poll out while the week leading up to this one. See if the fans and followers agree with me or if they're on Team Ben for this one.
Yes, and please comment. And if you're watching this or listening in a medium with comments, please argue
Yeah,
below.
please roast us. But okay, so I
Yeah, roast us,
I have
roast each
okay,
other.
okay. So we can agree to disagree.
Chestnuts roasting on the open fire.
We can agree to disagree that it is a Christmas movie, and I'll give you action / Christmas movie. We can agree to disagree there.
All right.
So then my next question is: if you don't think Die Hard is The Night Before with Seth Rogen? Is that a Christmas movie? Because it does not have Christmas themes, but it's
Yes, it does. It has the themes of people coming together over the holiday season to kind of reconnect. They have this tradition that connects.
just like you
the
said with Die
homies.
Hard. You could replace that tradition with like anything else. You could
Oh,
do
no.
like Valentine's Day, like they're all single guys who all come together, and every Valentine's Day they all come together to make sure they feel loved, and you can have the same story with just that. Maybe it wouldn't have been as good of a movie because everyone can relate to Christmas more, but
If you say so, but look, I think that Christmas really makes that movie what it is because I don't know, they're getting together over Christmas. It's a thing they're always doing for Christmas. Christmas is a particularly strong holiday. Sure, there's a fringe group of people who are getting together over, Valentine's Day to celebrate the fact that they're single.
I don't know
but
if
these
people do
guys
that,
are
but-
not single,
That's fair.
or not all of them. I forget specifically who's
Yeah, I
hitched and
haven't
who
seen
ain't.
it in a little
but-
while, so I don't know like the specifics of the movie. I'm gonna have to definitely watch that.
Yeah, well, it's about time. It's Christmas season coming up. I would love to watch that, and we might have to get together and do it.
Oh, we
maybe.
should. We
But,
should do that. We can watch Die Hard and then the night
And then
before.
the night before, right back to back, see which one is more Christmas. But yeah, no, I don't know. The thing is, those guys are getting together for this tradition, and it's specifically for Christmas, and it couldn't be another holiday, in my opinion, because there isn't such a big holiday that's focused around people coming
That's
home.
fair.
There aren't so many holidays where people come home for. You got Thanksgiving, that's
I feel like
kind of
that
similar, but
they could have made the same movie for
It probably could
Thanksgiving.
have been a
Because
Thanksgiving
imagine
movie.
they all come home. They're all high school homies, which I think they are in the movie. That's
Yeah.
the plot. They're all high school homies
They
who
all
come
get
together.
ripped and eat their Thanksgiving dinners.
Yeah,
together.
exactly. They all go out and they like the whole thing's them going out to the bar, and yeah, they do some like Christmassy stuff. But you could replace that with like Black Friday and Thanksgiving theme stuff.
That's one holiday that I will agree with you. It's a big
So-
enough zeitgeist.
So I don't
Kinda
think
thing.
either of us have a sound argument of what makes a Christmas movie. So I think we need to. What's your determining factor? Is it the overall feel and message, or is it the coming togetherness and celebrating the
To
holiday?
me, it's the fact that the holiday, Christmas, is what is driving the plot. So in the case of
Okay.
the night before, they're getting together because it's Christmas. In the Santa Claus, the whole plot's kind of driven by the fact that he's got to do this stuff.
Well, yeah,
on
but Santa's
Christmas
just
Eve.
Santa is Christmas. So like anytime you have like Santa, Frosty, any like reindeer, the Grinch, like anytime you have any of those characters, it's automatically a Christmas story.
Well, yeah, of course that does. That's a
This just
part of it.
popped in my mind. I wasn't planning on saying this. You're familiar with Futurama, right?
yeah.
The Christmas episodes where the robot Santa kills everyone. Is that a Christmas TV show? Because it has themes. They all come together, and it's like funny and it's comical, but it's also like Santa's trying to kill them, and them trying to kill Santa back, and they try to like hit him with a nuke or something. But then at the end, they all come together, and it's like,
I'm thinking myself in circles here, but I would say that
So
it
is that a Christmas TV show
yeah
or
because
Christmas episode?
because Christmas. I mean, it's kind of like it's a knockoff, or it's making fun of Christmas
Okay.
TV shows and Christmas specials. So maybe it's a Christmas parody, but
Okay, that's
it's
fair.
also
yeah.
marketed as a Christmas episode. It's going to be released around Christmas. It's intentionally made to be a Christmas thing.
So then is anything that's any TV show, any like we're going to do a Breaking Bad episode at some point. So if Breaking Bad had a specific Christmas episode, that would be a Christmas episode?
As long as
I guess
Christmas is
Breaking
it's got to be more than just it takes place during Christmas.
Breaking Bad's not a fair example because it's a continuous story. But let's say something like South Park. If South Park has a Christmas episode where like it's around Christmas, and even if they make fun of it, but the premise is like they all come together at the end and like it has Christmas themes, is that a Christmas episode, or like is it just a Christmas episode because they label it as one and it has like Santa in it?
Well, it's just got to fit the elements. It's got to check off some boxes. So one of them being that it takes place in and around Christmas, but that's not.
Okay.
That is one.
So that's number one.
Box
That's number
to
one.
check.
That's one box to check. I would say probably to make it a Christmas movie, it has to have those themes of Christmas more than just coming together and more than just like being around the holidays. I think we all like have those stories.
Yeah, themes of generosity and
Yeah.
like themes of learning to put your own interests aside and think of people outside of yourself to for gift giving, that sort of a thing. Those are the kind of lessons that got to be learned in a Christmas movie.
I would agree.
Learning to be selfless.
I would agree there.
Like that's a big part of the Santa Claus. He's learning to let go of his identity and become the Santa Claus for the people because he recognizes that there are things bigger than himself.
I feel like my biggest thing of what makes it a Christmas movie and what doesn't, and besides Die Hard, because I think it's just it's such a debate now. It's like such a hot topic to bring up. Like I was talking to my dad about this episode topic and that I was going to defend why it is. And he got so heated and he was like, "Oh, it can't be like it's not just cuz it's over Christmas doesn't mean it is. Like you can't say Die Hard's a Christmas movie." He told me to mention The Battle of the Bulge, which is a war movie. That technically happened over Christmas. He said if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, that's a Christmas movie, which I disagree because they don't mention the word Christmas in there at all, or like they just say like, "Oh, it's Christmas," which doesn't count. Like there's a lot of TV shows and movies where they say like, "Oh, it's Christmas," but I wouldn't consider that a Christmas movie.
Well, I haven't seen this Battle of the Bulge.
I haven't either.
But I bet you could do a lot of cool things with a war movie around Christmas because something that could drive that plot
It doesn't.
is the fact
It doesn't.
that these soldiers are like away
it's
for
a
Christmas.
it's a very
It just so
minuscule
happens
detail.
to-
Like I think they just like say like, "Oh, it's Christmas" or something.
So not a Christmas movie.
So
to
that's
me.
not a Christmas movie.
No.
Not at all. And I don't think it has zero Christmas music where Die Hard does. And I don't think they really mention Christmas other than maybe like one time, to my knowledge. But I think, back to my original point, I think we could all, besides Die Hard, we could all flip a coin. Or not even flip a coin. You just know. If I could go survey 1,000 people on the street about like what a Christmas movie is, and they're all gonna give me a movie that we'd all agree: Rudolph, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Grinch, like Frosty, like all the classic movies. I think they'd give us one of those, like National Lampoon's Christmas. Like they'd give us one of those movies. And I think the only people that wouldn't give us one of those movies, they'd say Die Hard just because they're trying to spark the debate and be heated. They're not going to name anything else. Like if
they're instigating, they're trying to
I
stir
think
the pot.
it's a yes or no. Like there's no middle ground. Die Hard, the only reason it is because it's such a heated debate and that it's become such a like I don't think you can name one other Christmas or holiday themed movie or TV show debate that is greater than this debate.
I can't name
Anything
another example of like there's no other movies that were like, oh,
well, I guess like the next debate would be like what the best movie is. Or like you could argue, because they're doing so many remakes, like they've remade The Grinch a few times. Like I guess the only other debate is you could maybe argue like which movie's the best, or like the remakes better than the originals. You know, like I feel like there's specific ones in there for each household. Like my dad would kill me if I said any like that any of the Grinch remakes were better than the original, which. I love the original Grinch. That's my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I honestly, I mean, like, it's really not a movie. It's only like 35 minutes long. Short film, cinema, whatever you want to call it. I love that original Grinch. I remember watching that from the time I was like, I don't know, whenever I started watching TV. I remember it coming on and getting so excited to see the Grinch sneak and sly his way through the houses and steal the gifts. I loved that. I loved it as a kid, man.
Yeah, it's really satisfying watching like the way he hits the Christmas decoration balls, like
yes,
like their
and I love the
animation.
I can honestly say I love the animation. I've always loved how they've done it, and I think the remakes make it look bad. And I think you just can't beat the original. You can't beat the original story.
Well, I'm always in favor of like 2D drawn animation. Over
Yeah, me
3D
too.
Computer stuff.
And the only thing I have to say, because it was not a thing back when they made movies, the soundtrack that Tyler the Creator did for the cartoon remake is fantastic. I literally told my parents on Thanksgiving I cannot wait for December 1st so I can just start blasting that album. Wow. I love it. I love that Tyler the Creator album. Not movie related, I know. My apologies.
You got any other Christmas albums you like? I mean, we should talk about this too long. It's not.
That's all I have to say at this time.
Yeah. August Burns Red is their Christmas album. They do a new song for it every year. But anyway, that's a story for a different podcast.
Well, so you have you touched on Santa Claus. So I feel like that's your favorite Christmas movie, but I'm not sure.
So yeah. The Santa Claus. I love it because then they expand on the idea over the next two films. Santa Claus 3, not very good. But I love the idea that you could create a whole, it really fleshes out the world where you have all these, the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and all these kind of fairy tale creatures that are real. And it as a kid, I loved seeing that kind of brought to life.
I retract my last statement. I have seen at least the first one. I probably have seen the second one. I did not know there was a third one. Who's the actor Isn't
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen?
He's a prick, but
No, that's where like he becomes fat and he becomes Santa Claus, and
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
first one. He becomes fat. He becomes Santa Claus. Second one, he has to get married, or else he's not going to be able to be Santa Claus anymore because there
My
needs to be a
goodness.
Mrs. Claus.
okay.
And in the third one, it's like years later, and what? I don't know. Jack Frost or somebody comes around. There's
That's
some
fair.
like interesting.
Maybe
kinda,
I
like,
have seen
somebody's
that
trying to
one. I
take
think
the
that sounds
throne, pretty
sounds
much.
familiar.
Yeah, I saw it. I haven't seen it
I
since
can't
the one
say.
time I saw it in theaters. So I don't know.
For me,
Santa Claus 1's
Christmas
great,
is
though.
like being with family, and like the nostalgia that those old Christmas movies bring me, just like screams family for me, and like that's why
All right.
old
Charlie
Grinch.
Brown.
I love the Charlie Brown Christmas episode. That like hits my soul. That or the Grinch top two. I don't know if I could pick which one's my favorite. They're just like so high up there. If I had to pick like a recent one, I'd probably say everyone loves Elf. It wouldn't be Elf for me. Everyone loves Elf.
Right. I didn't even think about Elf this
Yeah, we
entire time.
we haven't talked about
That's a
Elf as a time.
Christmas movie.
Elf is 100% a Christmas movie. Like, yes, you have Santa, you have reindeer, you have him as an elf, and it's
But
funny
wait.
too.
What? Doesn't it take? No, it takes place during December, like leading.
Yeah, it's not Christmas.
Because think about like with the Santa Claus, you see the entire year. You don't just see
Yeah.
leading up to Christmas. So like, yeah, it can just because it's got elves. Does that make it? I mean, I guess so, but
I think so. I think, like I said, anything with like Santa is like automatically because Santa is
'cause
Christmas.
Christmas is gonna come during the climax of the film.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't believe we didn't talk about Elf until now. I really don't like. I
Elf
like Elf.
is
I don't
funny.
love Elf. I don't love Elf like everyone else does. Like, it's not a top 5 or 10 Christmas movie for me. If I had to pick a recent one, I'd probably say like the Grinch remake with Jim Carrey. It's probably like my favorite newer movie that's not a cartoon.
Yeah, I never really got into that one. That kind of wasn't my bread and butter.
They're like National Lampoon's Christmas is fantastic. It's funny.
My dad loves that. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like there aren't too many live action. I'm trying to really rack my brain here. I mean, it's like the OG ones for me, really, like the Rudolph's. I don't even remember what all those old claymation Christmas movies are called. Like the Santa Claus is Coming into Town is one
Yeah.
of them. But then
Frosty,
there's The Year Without
Rudolph.
a Santa Claus.
That's a good one too. I love that.
Is that the one with the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser? Which is the
think
one
so.
with because that's
I think that those are
Yeah.
good.
I think it's probably time for me to rewatch those.
It's
I just
crazy.
went like 6 years because in college I was not watching those
To be
movies.
honest, I feel like these are like deep hidden memories for a lot of people. Like, I feel like
Right.
we might only have 5 or 10 people listening to this, but I feel like half those people might be like, "Oh wow, I forgot this existed."
Right. Yeah, I've been seeing the Heat Miser and the Cold Miser kind of popping up in memes here and there. the
Yeah, I
past
have
couple
too,
of months,
but oh man, I can't believe memes dictate
memes.
our. That's another topic for another conversation.
Best movie memes, maybe.
That'd be a good topic. Maybe we'll have to explore on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sticking by it. I'm sticking by Die Hard is a Christmas movie, even if you want to label it action, adventure, drama, whatever you want to throw in front of it. It can be both.
All right.
And it wasn't made to be a
Whatever.
Christmas movie, but it is.
You know, I am all about letting the people determine the truth, and I don't want to be too strict with these kind of genre limitations. So I'll let you have that.
I'm gonna
one.
take my
To me, it's not a
metaphorical
Christmas movie.
hammer.
I'm never gonna watch it
I'm slamming it.
during Christmas,
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
All
End
right.
of story.
and I'm gonna
You can't convince me.
metaphorically kind of keel over and be like, "Meh, okay, fine."
Well, I think now that that's settled, I think we're going to have to cut it off for today. Thank you all for listening and for tuning in to another episode of Pricey Popcorn. Be sure to just share with a movie lover in your life or anyone who enjoys cinema. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Pricey Popcorn. I'm Brady. I'm here with Ben. Thank you guys so much. Have a great holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays, y'all. Take care.